Peace and black power, peace and black power. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, Notorious RBG, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Ogun. Today, brothers and sisters, I just had to go live. I just got the news that our brother DMX is on life support, White Plains Hospital, same city where we hosted the New York State NIBPA Black Parent Know Your School Rights Boot Camp. We want our brother DMX to get on up. We sending blessings out to his family. We sending condolences and support, energy. The collective energy of the black community is being directed to DMX right now. We are sending our ancestral vibes. We are sending our ashe. We sending our soul force and our spirit force up to the hospital in White Plains, New York. We want our brother DMX to get on up. We want our brother DMX to get on up. We call on the Most High God to lift our brother up. DMX is one of my favorite artists, one of the most keep it real artists of all time. He wasn't all about the gold chains and the diamonds, the Louis bags and the Gucci bags. DMX was on that straight real message. The only rapper who would put praise to the Lord on his albums, brothers and sisters. His first two albums are probably arguably the best two debut albums for any hip-hop artist in history. Name a hip-hop artist whose first two albums were better than DMX's first two albums. Very few names. Very few names. Those first two albums, DMX, I'll put him against anybody. Them things are still hard to this very day. But we want him up. We want him up. You know, we praying with the family. We don't want to lose no more black men. We don't want to lose no more hip-hop artists. I pray that it wasn't no foul play involved. I pray it wasn't no foul play involved. I absolutely pray that it was not any foul play involved, because DMX been exposing the wicked hip-hop industry and the wicked satanic music industry for quite some time. DMX never bit his tongue, so I hope no foul play was involved. But that to the side, we want our brother to get up out that hospital bed. We want our brother to be strong. Come on, X. Not now, brother. He got family. He got children. He got us, the extended family, in the hip-hop world, the black conscious world. We don't want no more sacrifices. The music industry, the white power structure cannot sacrifice any more of our brothers. No more sacrifices. Earl Simmons, get on up. This is what we're going to do, brothers and sisters. If you got a question for Dr. Umar, we're only going to be on here for about an hour because I got to watch UCLA beat Gonzaga in a little bit. We're only going to be on here for an hour because I got to watch UCLA beat Gonzaga in a little bit. Shout out to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina girls. Y'all did y'all thing against Stanford. We came up a little short, but that's all right. Y'all made it to the Final Four, third time for my North Philadelphia sister, Dawn Staley. I'm sure you guys will be right back there next year. This is a question and answer session with Dr. Umar that's going to be an hour. Question and answer session with Dr. Umar that's going to be an hour. If you have a question, you must send in a Cash App. If you have a question, you must send in a Cash App. This is the way it's going to go. This is FDMG fundraiser time. FDMG fundraiser time. And we sending our prayers out to the dog up in White Plains, dedicated to DMX. Get up, black man. This is how we're going to do it. If you have a question for Dr. Umar, you got to send in the Cash App. In order for your question or comment to be read, the donation needs to be at least $5. In order for the question or comment to be read, donation needs to be at least $5. If the donation is under $5, your name will be read. You will be honored, but the question and comment will not be read. It must be at least $5 for question and comment to be read and answered, but your name will be mentioned no matter how small of a donation you got, brothers and sisters. This is all about our children It's about saving black boys. It's about saving black girls. It's about getting that HVAC done. It's about getting that plumbing done. We got 5 months, brothers and sisters, 5 months until the end of August. And I want to have that grand opening, unapologetically first annual Unapologetically African Family Festival and Conference. We want to have a festival and conference. If you have a question, you got to make a donation. So I got the Cash App up, $FDMG School. I got the Cash App up, $FDMG School. Hit your Cash App. Jay-Z's first 2 albums were not better than DMX's first 2 albums. Jay-Z's first 2 albums were not better than DMX's first 2 albums. Sorry about that. Okay? Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School, $FDMG School. You got a question, you got to donate. You want to answer, you got to donate. So the Cash App is up, brothers and sisters. I'm just waiting for the first donation to come through. Who gonna make that first one? Make sure you have your question or your comment. We got $21 from BK Trainer. Thank you, BK Trainer. $21. Where you at, BK Trainer? You might need to train me a little bit. You on the East Coast? You in Brooklyn? Where you at, BK Trainer? I got to get my 6-pack up. The Prince of Pan-Africanism got to get the 6-pack. I ain't seen my 6-pack since my sophomore year in college. I ain't seen my 6-pack since my sophomore year. Where them donations at? Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School. Any question, I'm going to answer it as long as it's $5. If it's under $5, I'm giving you a shout out, but I will not be answering your question. $FDMG School, brothers and sisters. What I got coming up. Next weekend, we have Boston, Black Parent Boot Camp, Boston, Massachusetts, at the Good Shepherd Church. Okay, but there's a book signing on Friday. So my very next event is the Black Parent Advocate book release for Boston, Massachusetts, Friday, April 9. Black Parent Advocate book release Friday, April 9. And then Saturday, April 10, also in Boston, is the Black Parent Boot Camp, 8 in the morning until 8 p.m. All training materials included. Lunch is included. Refreshments are included. But you should bring additional refreshments because you might like a certain tea, certain juice, certain snack. Bring it on through, brothers and sisters. Dress comfortably, brothers and sisters. Dress comfortably because you're going to be there 12 hours. No children. No children. Now, if you absolutely have to bring the child, bring the child. But 12 hours is a long time for a child to have to sit through this boot camp. And it's a long time for you to have to be distracted with your beautiful child as you try to learn the information. You must be in your seat by 10 a.m. next Saturday. Do not show up in Boston at the Good Shepherd Church, 18 Whittier Street, after 10 a.m. because you're not getting in. You're not getting in if you show up after 10 a.m. Okay? So the Boston book signing and the boot camp are at the same place. The Boston book signing and the boot camp are at the same place. Good Shepherd Church. My first visit since 2016. 6 long years. Come out Friday night and get your book. Meet and greet with the Prince. It's been 6 years. Boston Queens have them cameras. I ain't seen my beautiful Boston sisters in 6 years. You know I got them Papa Bear hugs for you. My Massachusetts ladies, you know I got them Dr. Papa Bear hugs for you. And then the next day, come back for the boot camp. Okay? And then Thursday, the 14th of April, Thursday the 15th of April, I will be in Augusta, Georgia for the first time. Thursday the 15th of April, Augusta, Georgia for the first time. Thursday the 15th of April, Augusta, Georgia, and we will be at the Humanity House, Humani Tree HUMANITREE, humanitreehouse.com, located 305 8th Street, 305 8th Street in Augusta, Georgia, Thursday, April the 15th, from 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock. And the very next day, I am in Atlanta. Augusta on Thursday, Atlanta on Friday. And on Friday, the 16th of April, we will be at 6385 Old National Highway, 6385 Old National Highway in Atlanta, 330 State of Black America Address in Unity, Raleigh. State of Black America Address in Unity, Raleigh, 330 in Atlanta, Friday, April the 16th, 6385 Old National Highway. Okay? And then what do we have? What do we got after we hit up Boston? Then we're going to hit up Augusta, Georgia. And then we're going to hit up Atlanta. I'm missing something. We got something else in April. It'll come back to me. May 1st, Shreveport, Louisiana. May 1st, Shreveport, Louisiana. May 1st, Shreveport, Louisiana for the first time. And I'm waiting for the details for the Shreveport lecture. Tulsa, Oklahoma, May the 15th, Friday, at the Greenwood Cultural Center, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Friday, May 15, Black Parent Advocate book release and lecture, Greenwood Cultural Center. Saturday the 16th, Oakland, California. Sunday the 17th, Los Angeles, California. Blessed Love, Vernon Ave. Y'all know how we do. Ross, Bob, Sister Kim, the backyard, the food, the mic. You know how we do, LA. Black Parent Advocate book release, Los Angeles. Get ready. Now, for Oakland, where are we going to be at? Just so my Oakland family know. LA know where we're going to be. Tulsa know. Oakland, we're going to be at the Church of All Faith, 2100 Fifth Avenue. The Church of All Faiths, 2100 Fifth Avenue in Oakland on Saturday, May the 15th from 2 until 8. Now let me hit the Cash App. $ FDMG School. Let me read some questions. If you got a question, you got to hit the Cash App. Okay. Kahali Bakulu. Kahali Bakalu. Kahali Bakalu, $10. I have listed my question in the question box. What do you mean you listed your question in the question box? Where's the question box? Kahali Bakalu. I don't know where the question box at. Terrell Davis. Thank you for the $1 donation, Terrell Davis. Jarius Lyles, $10. Thank you, Brother Jarius. No question or comment from Brother Jarius. Keon Young, $5. Thank you, my brother. No question or comment from Keon. Omar Leslie, $10 donation. Thank you, my brother. No question or comment from Omar. Cameron Butler, $25 donation. Thank you, Brother Cameron. No question or comment from Brother Cameron. Too Hot to Handle, $54. $50 donation from Too Hot to Handle, $54. Shout out to Too Hot to Handle. Edward, $15 donation from Edward. No question, no comment. Robert Robinson, $40 from Big Rob. Thank you, Brother Robert Robinson. Tyreek Tilton, $5 from Brother Tyreek. Thank you, Brother Tyreek. Sister Tiffany Griffin, Ifa Tunde University, $50. Please explain the third rule of white supremacy. All right. So the first rule of white supremacy is that all Europeans are racist. And when we say all Europeans are racist, we are simply saying that all white people participate in the system of black oppression, directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, and all white people benefit from the system of black oppression, directly, indirectly, consciously or unconsciously. So the first rule of racism is recognizing that it is a system in which all Europeans participate. All Europeans. There are no exceptions. All Europeans participate in the system of racism because racism cannot exist. It cannot continue. It cannot survive unless every white person participates. That's number one. Okay? And every white person derives a benefit from the system of racism as well. Do you understand? So whether they kill a cop or not, they benefit from the fact that the police are oppressing black people. Whether they participate in the underemployment of black people, it doesn't matter. They benefit from the fact they don't have to compete with those black people who are being systematically unemployed. Whether they are the judge or the prosecutor, it doesn't matter. The fact that so many black people are being locked up creates a domino effect of political and economic problems from which all white people benefit. So I want you all to understand it doesn't matter if the white person is on the sideline or not. They still reap a benefit that none of them have refused to receive at all in history. Let me say that again. There is no white person who has ever given back their white privilege. If you know of a white person who has given back their white privilege, please let me know their name. I'm not aware of a single white person who has ever given back their white privilege. There's not a white person who does not enjoy privilege in this country, in this world, as a result of the stigmatization, dehumanization, exploitation of the black man and woman. So that's rule number one. All white people participate. All white people benefit from racism. Rule number two. Okay. Racists don't share power with their victims. Rule number two. Racists don't share power with their victims. White people have never shared power with black people. Never in history, never at the current time, never in the future. If you can name a corporation, if you can name a business, if you can name a country, if you can name a set of circumstances where you can show me where the white person shared power with the black person, I would like to know where it is. Because every situation in history where our ancestors shared power with white folk, they ended up losing that power to the white folk. So it may have been a temporary sharing of power, but it ultimately was a capitulation of power away from the black and towards the white. They don't share power. So when you hear people say things like one America, that propaganda that Barack Hussein Obama used to brainwash black people, there's no black America, there's no white America, there's only the United States of America. Do you remember Barack Obama saying that? Do you remember Barack Obama saying that when he won the presidential election, that victory speech? There's no white America. There's no black America. There's only the United States of America. So, Mr. Barack Obama, if there's no white America and there's no black America, there's only the United States of America. Can you explain to me then, Barry Soreto? Can you explain to me, Barry Soreto, if there's no black America or no white America, how is it that 1 out of every 9 black men are either in prison or jail right now. But for white males, that number is like 1 for 40. If there's no black America and no white America, can you help me understand why the average amount of wealth in a black household is less than 10% of the average amount of wealth in a white household? If there's no black America and no white America, how do you explain gentrification, Mr. Barack Obama? Because I'm not aware of a white community that has ever been gentrified by black folks. I have never seen a white community that was gentrified by black people. Does anybody know of a community of white people where black people came in and through the sheer power of their dollar were able to force all the white people out? I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of a systemic miseducation effort being handed out to white children. I'm not aware of a school to prison pipeline for white boys. So, Mr. Barack Obama, President Obama, if there is no white America and no black America, how do you explain and defend the enormous and drastic differences in quality of life and path through life for black people as compared to white people? If there's no black America and no white America, then help me explain. Help me explain that. Why have black people never achieved an equal footing with white folk in this country in the 155 years since the end of chattel slavery? The truth is, there is a white America and there is a black America. They are unequal. It is unfair. And it is being unaddressed. The differences between white America and black America are unequal, unfair, and most of all, they are being unaddressed. They are being ignored. And on top of that, President Biden wants to help 11 million. 11 million. President Biden wants to help 11 million undocumented immigrants earn their work visas and ultimately their U.S. citizenship. Why does President Biden want to help 11 million undocumented illegal immigrants get a work visa and a citizenship when half the black men in America are unemployed and can't find a job? So if half of the black men in America are unemployed and can't find a job, how did President Biden find time to help 11 million non-citizens get a work visa? How can they get a visa for work when black men can't find work? How can 11 million illegal immigrants get help from the president to get a working visa when half the black men in the country can't find work? And then he wants to fast track them to U.S. citizenship. My question for the president, what is the real reason you want to help these 11 million immigrants get their U.S. citizenship? I know part of it is that'll be 11 million votes for the next Democratic presidential candidate. I understand. Part of that is that will be 11 million votes for the next Democratic presidential nominee. I get that. But what are the other reasons? The most obvious and glaring reason is you want to use these 11 million immigrants to replace black people in the employment market. You want to use these 11 million undocumented immigrants to take the low wage minimum skill jobs from black people. You intend to use these 11 million undocumented illegal immigrants for whom you will provide citizenship to replace black folk. There's 46 million Africans in America. There's 46 million Africans in America. When we take out the ones who are in prison or jail, we're almost to 40. So you're going to bring in illegal immigrants and give them a citizenship and a work visa. And you're going to bring in an amount of these illegal immigrants that is equal to roughly 25% of the black population. Why is Joe Biden rushing this? Why is it so important for Joe to bring in 11 million illegal immigrants, give them a work visa and citizenship so they can replace black people? There is a Negro removal campaign that is in full effect. The only place America wants to see black people is in the cell or in the ground. If you are not in a jail cell and if you are not in the ground, you are a problem in this country. And they're going to give citizenship to these 11 million to make sure you can't even work at McDonald's. You can't even work at airport security. You won't be able to pick up the garbage or sweep the streets. They're going to shut us out. 11 million is a lot of people, brothers and sisters. He didn't say 1 million undocumented immigrants. He didn't say 2 million undocumented immigrants. He didn't say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. He said 11. 11 million undocumented immigrants. He wants to give them work visa and citizenship, although he's done nothing to address the systemic and endemic problems that affect black America. Lord have mercy. And for those of you in the comments who are trying to make excuses, you're just a coon. And that's all right too. And that's all right too. And that's all right too. You love to argue your enemy's perspective. And that's all right too. That's all right too. That's why when we finally open FDMG, we got to have a coon conference. I want to get in the room with all the coons. And we just going to have a straight conversation with the coons. We have to address you all because you are a cancer in black America. We must deal with the coons. And then we're going to have a global coon conference, right? Because I am a Pan-Africanist. So we have to have a global coon conference. So we're going to bring all the coons from Africa and the coons from Europe and the coons from the Caribbean and the coons from the Americas and Australia and Canada and the South Pacific. And we got to have a Pan-African coon conference to address the coons. And we're going to try to rehabilitate some of you coons. We're going to try to rehabilitate some of you coons. But we got to find out what to do with those of you who cannot be saved because you are a significant security risk to the survival of the black liberation struggle. And what I find interesting about Joe Biden's 11 million immigration plan, which is basically a 11 million Negro removal plan, nobody's questioning the intention of this. The Democratic Party ain't said nothing. Congressional Black Caucus ain't said nothing. NAACP, Urban League, community-based organizations. Nobody's saying anything about this 11 million immigrant new citizen and work visa project of Joe Biden. Rule number 1, all Europeans are racist. Rule number 2, they do not share power with blacks. Rule number 3, to Sister Tiffany's question, the rules of racism. Rule number 3 to Sister Tiffany's question is, white supremacy is ruthless. Rule number 3 is ruthlessness. 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 Racism is ruthless. They will poison your water. They will give you COVID, and then they will turn around and give you a COVID vaccination. They will give you AIDS, Ebola. They will miseducate your kids, mass incarcerate your men, kill the babies in the wombs of your woman. Racism is ruthless. There is no moral code. There is no standard of ethics that is going to keep the European from achieving his agenda. He does not stop. No Bible, no Quran, nothing will stop the onslaught of global white supremacy. Nothing at all. You have to organize and fight it. It is ruthless. And that's why when you Negroes try to use a biblical interpretation of white racism, you're wrong. You Muslims want to use a Quranic interpretation of race, you're wrong. Okay? I don't care who you are. Ain't no religious book has no solution in it for white supremacy, because it is ruthless. And if you think you're going to pray your oppressor into loving you, then you're sicker than he is. If you think you're going to pray your oppressor into loving you, then you are sicker than he. Let's see if we got any more donations at the moment. DMX, get up out that bed, brother. We pulling for you. DMX, get up out that bed. We pulling for you. Pick and Roll. $5 from Pick and Roll. Thank you, Pick and Roll. No question or comment. If you have a question or comment, you must donate. Get on your Cash App. $ FDMG School. If you have a question or comment, you must donate. Get on your Cash App. $ FDMG School. And I will read your question or comment. Okay. Kahali Bakalu is back. Can you tell me about Ethiopian genetics? I need clarity on that question. What do you mean, Ethiopian genetics? We know that Ethiopia is within the cradle of mankind. It's where God first put the African, first put man and woman down on earth in Africa along the Fertile Crescent, which includes Uganda, Ethiopia, Kemet. Who else is in that Fertile Crescent? Kenya, Somalia, Eritrea, all up and down that Rift Valley is the Fertile Crescent. That's the birth of man. That's the original home of man. And so all of us have some East African DNA because all of mankind has an East African origin. I hope that helps. Kahali Bakalu. I love your name, Kahali Bakalu. And I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Brother Don Philo, is an all-black city similar to Tulsa possible? Yes, Brother Don, an all-black city similar to Tulsa, okay? Similar to Tulsa, an all-black city is possible. We can have an all-black city next year if we want one. You can have an all-black city in every state if you want one. You can have an all-black city in every country if you want one. But in order to build an all-black city, you got to have black people who are committed and convicted enough to bring it forth. That means they have to discipline their spending. That means we have to put our money together. That means we have to purchase institutions, renovate those institutions, and then we have to pay for the operation of those institutions like they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Charleston, South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, Florida. We've had Black Wall Streets all over America. Tulsa was the most famous because of what happened to it. Okay? Yes, we can have an all-black city. But in order to have an all-black city, you got to have a nationhood consciousness. You have to have a group of Africans who are serious about nationalism and serious about nation building. Nation building and nationalism goes hand in hand, because when you say you are a nationalist, you're automatically saying that I am a nation builder. And if you're saying that you are a nation builder, you are automatically saying that you want to create institutions. A nationalist is a nation builder, and a nation builder is an institution developer. So yes, we can have a community where we have our own bank, our own school, our own hospital, our own supermarket, our own manufacturing center, our own shipping industry, our own distribution network. Yes, we can do it. But you got to have the mindset to do it. Most black people are not interested in sacrificing for the greater good of the black community. And that is a global phenomenon. I don't care if you live in Africa, Europe, Asia, Canada, the Caribbean islands, the Central and South America. Most African people globally are psychologically defeated people. We are a psychologically defeated people. Why would you expect a psychologically defeated people to build an independent community? A psychologically defeated people don't believe it's possible to build an independent community. What is the number one symptom of a psychologically defeated person? What is the number one symptom of a psychologically defeated person? The number one symptom of a psychologically defeated person, I want y'all to hear me well. The number one symptom of a psychologically defeated person is negativism. Negativism. You ever been around Africans who are always negative? Always, we can't do this. We can't do that. That's too hard. That's impossible. The white man won't let us. We can't do this. We can't do that. That's too hard. That's going to take too much time. They're not going to let us do it. That is negativism. And negativism is the number one symptom of a psychologically defeated African. That's why we have Africans, Africants, and Africoons. I'm going to say it again. We have Africans, Africants, and Africoons. I am an African. I can. The African, I-K-A-N. I can do it. When you say I am an African, you're saying I can do it. You should never call yourself an African if you don't believe we can do it, because the word I can is right there in the word African. You can't have African without I can. So when you say I can, when you say I'm an African, you're saying I can. I can do it. So an African is optimistic. An African is optimistic. He is a revolutionary optimist. The African is a revolutionary optimist. If you are not a revolutionary optimist, you are not an African, and you're definitely not a Pan-African nationalist. You must be a revolutionary optimist. For the revolutionary optimist, the only question is how, not if. See, for the Africans, it's always we can't. We got a lot of Africans around. All they do is doubt. They're useless. Get rid of them. They will infect the whole group with their negativism. A Pan-African LGBTQ internationalist. Okay, so you're a socialist. You are a socialist. And I respect your Pan-Africanism. But the problem with you Pan-African socialists, the problem with you Pan-African socialists is all of you are integrationist. You accept anybody and everything as long as they want to smash capitalism. The problem with you Pan-African socialists, I respect your Pan-Africanism, But the problem with you Pan-African socialists is you are really integrationists. You're really integrationists. You want to hold hands with everybody. You are Pan-African integrationists. That's what you are. There's no such thing as a Pan-Africanist LGBTQ. There's no such thing as that. It's impossible. It's a total contradiction. And so I need you Pan-African socialists to get your act together and stop pushing integrationism within the Pan-African movement. You're contradicting the intentions of this struggle. Okay, let me break this down to you, my beautiful African sister. And for the record, I love you. You're a lesbian, and I love you. You're bisexual. I love you. Okay? I love you as my sister, as the person. You understand? I want to be clear with you. I'm going to answer your question. Can you be LGBT and a Pan-Africanist? I'm going to answer your question. But first, I want to make sure you understand that my response is coming from a place of love. You're my sister, and I love you. Okay? Gay or straight, I love you. The person I love. The behavior I reject. Okay? The person I love. The behavior I disagree with. And I want to tell you why. Pan-African nationalism. I'm going to give you the answer for the Pan-African nationalist. I cannot give you the answer for the Pan-African socialist. Well, I can. Let me give you their answer first. For the Pan-African socialists, you can be lesbian or bisexual and still be a Pan-African socialist, because the socialists operate on a European ideological paradigm. Okay, they come from a Marxist-Leninist approach to oppression. So for the socialists, they see capitalism as the problem, not racism. For the socialists, smashing capitalism is the problem, not racism, because they believe capitalism invented racism. So for them, you can be a lesbian and be a Pan-African socialist. You can be gay and be a Pan-African socialist. You could be transgendered and be a Pan-African socialist for them. So that's the Pan-African socialist. So you can be a part of that. They will accept you. They accept everything as long as you're against capitalism. Okay? Now, let me give you the answer for the Pan-African nationalist. I want to give you the answer for the Pan-African nationalist. For us, again, sister, I love you. I love all of our people, gay or straight. I love all of our people, gay or straight, but I disagree with your behavior. The reason you cannot join us, the reason you cannot struggle for us. Now, I will die for you, sister. I will fight with you. I will fight for you if anyone tries to harm my black sister. But the reason you cannot join this movement is because the word nationalism is derived from the word nature. Nationalism and nature have the same root, which is nat, N-A-T. Okay? Nature and nationalism come from the same root, which is nat, nature. And part of naturalness and nature and nationalism is to procreate, to repopulate. You understand? Okay? To regenerate. When we say nationalism, we're talking about building up a nation, and a nation is nothing more than a collection of families and communities. If there's no family, there's no community. If there's no community, there's no nation. So a nationalist, at the core of his being, is a promoter of traditional black family. I want you to understand me, sister. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand your brother. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand your brother. As a nationalist, I am a supporter of nature. And as a nationalist, I am a supporter of the black community. And in order for there to be a black community, there must be black family. So a nationalist is a proponent of the traditional black family. The word nationalism in nature come from the root nat. Okay? To do as nature intended, to repopulate, to regenerate, to create families and expand those families into communities and expand those communities into nations. So here's the question, my sister. If a nationalist is a proponent of nature, and if a nationalist is a proponent of the traditional black family, because there's no nation without the community, and there's no community without the traditional black family. So my question to you, my beautiful African sister, if you are engaged in a relationship of same gender, which means you cannot repopulate yourself. You cannot reproduce yourself with your mate who is of the same gender. That black man who's dating another black man cannot reproduce himself naturally with that black man. The black woman dating another black woman cannot reproduce herself naturally with that other woman. So as you can see, the mere fact that you have chosen to live your life in a situation that does not allow for nature to take its course by way of your lifestyle then represents a contradiction for the pan. Your lifestyle then represents a contradiction for the Pan-African nationalist. Do you understand? That's why you can't be with us. We love you. We will fight for you. You're a black woman. I will respect you. I respect your mate. You understand? You are human beings. You are my sister. All of us have some sort of psychological issues as a result of white supremacy, slavery, and the Ma'afa. But politically, I love you as a sister. That's family. But politically, you cannot struggle because it is a contradiction. You are promoting behavior that is antithetical to the best interests of the black community. You are promoting lifestyle choices that undermine the best interests of the black community. So my sister, as you can see, I don't hate you. It's not about disrespect. We got to understand each other. Now, you can still struggle with the Pan-African socialists. They accept everybody. Okay? Anybody can go be with the Pan-African socialists.